Have you ever felt it? That strange kind of fading, not a sharp pain, not an injury, just a slow soft dimming inside you. You're still standing. You're still moving. But something feels quieter. It might show up in your legs, feeling a little heavier with each step. Or in your mornings, when you wake up, not refreshed, but already tired. Or maybe it shows up in those private moments with someone you love, when desire used to come naturally, and now, you're just not sure. I've had men try to explain it with a shrug. Maybe I'm just getting old, maybe it's stress, or maybe I've lost my edge, but what if it's none of those? What if what you're feeling isn't a decline at all, but a signal? A quiet nudge from your body, asking you to listen. Now, I want you to picture something simple. A single leaf. Small, bright green, slightly bitter on the tongue. Usually left untouched on the side of your plate. Sometimes tossed aside before dinner even begins. But what if I told you, inside that forgotten little leaf is a code, a chemical whisper from nature itself that your body still knows how to read? My name is Dr. Catherine Rocker. I'm a physician who's spent over 30 years working with men, real men, in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s. Men who still wanted to walk with strength. Men who still wanted to feel connection, not just physically, but emotionally. Men who were tired of being told that, this is just part of aging. Let me be clear. What I've learned over these 3 decades is simple. The male body, your body, doesn't stop working at 60. It stops listening when we stop giving it the right signals. And those signals? They don't come from syringes. They don't come from a pharmacy. They come from somewhere older. Wiser. Slower. They come from the ground. From the garden. From plants our ancestors used not for garnish, but for healing. Because what if, the key to blood flow, to strength, to connection, was never lost? What if it was right there, next to your steak, waiting quietly for you to notice it again? In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you into a story. Not about sickness, but about renewal. Not about aging, but about awakening. And it begins with a forgotten herb. A leaf so small, so simple, it could sit in your palm unnoticed. But once you understand what it does inside your blood vessels, you may never look at your plate the same way again. So, take a breath. Set down the noise. And let's listen together to what nature has been trying to say all along. Let me tell you about Bernard. He was 72. Tall, polite, a retired postmaster from Ohio. Still took his morning walks. Still helped his wife carry the groceries. Still smiled, even though, behind that smile, something had gone missing. When he sat down in my office, he didn't complain. He simply said, "Doc, I'm slowing down, not in a big way. Just, something's different." I asked him to tell me more. And that's when it came out. His hands and feet were often cold. He felt heaviness in his legs, especially in the evenings. An intimacy? It had quietly drifted away, not because he didn't care, but because his body didn't seem to respond anymore. "I don't think anything's wrong," he said. "I'm just old." That one sentence stuck with me, not because it was rare, but because I hear it all the time. Men over 60 quietly assuming that fading blood flow, lost desire, and lower energy are just part of the deal. But I'm here to tell you, Bernard was wrong. Not because he misunderstood, but because he was never told the full truth. You see, we've been taught to expect decline. To chalk it all up to, just getting older, but when I ran Bernard's tests, something stood out. Yes, his heart was working. Yes, his labs were within range. But his endothelial function, the ability of his blood vessels to relax and carry flow, was compromised. The walls of his arteries weren't flexible. His nitric oxide levels, the very molecule responsible for opening blood vessels, had dropped. Circulation to his lower body was sluggish. Not dangerous. Just silent. And here's the catch, that kind of sluggishness doesn't just affect your heart. It affects your energy, your focus, your ability to feel warmth and sensitivity in the places that matter most. So I asked him one question. Bernard, when was the last time you did something to feed your blood vessels? He blinked, then chuckled. I didn't even know I was supposed to, and that's exactly the problem. Most men don't realize that blood vessels are alive. They need nutrients. They need relaxation. They need to be reminded, daily, how to stay supple and responsive. Not with a pill, but with food. With a rhythm. With a quiet, consistent signal that tells the body, it's safe. You're supported. Let's flow again. That's where nature steps in. And that's when I introduced Bernard to something so small, so simple, he nearly laughed when I said it. Parsley, I told him. Not a garnish. Not a joke. But one of the most overlooked medicinal plants for male circulation I've ever seen. He stared at me. Doc? You're telling me this little leaf can help me feel like myself again? I smiled and nodded. Not just feel like yourself, but remind your blood how to move again. Naturally. Gently. And in ways your body still remembers. Because Bernard's problem wasn't age. It was starvation of the vessels, the signals, and the compounds his body used to produce easily. And parsley? That tiny green herb most of us brush aside? It happens to contain one of nature's most powerful tools for restoring the quiet, foundational flow that makes a man feel alive again. Right pointing arrow, but what exactly is inside this forgotten leaf that makes it so powerful? Let's step inside the science, and you'll see why this herb deserves a place not just on your plate, but in your daily rhythm. So let's talk about parsley. Yes, parsley. That humble, curly sprig sitting quietly on the edge of your plate. The thing most people push aside or leave untouched. Maybe you've done it too. But what if I told you that inside that little green leaf is a natural formula your body has been waiting for? You see, parsley isn't just a garnish. It's a biological tool. Packed inside its leaves is a compound called apigenin, a flavonoid that's been studied for its ability to support cardiovascular health, lower inflammation, and most importantly for men over 60, increase nitric oxide. Let me explain. When you were younger, your body naturally produced plenty of nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your blood vessels to open, relax, and let blood flow freely. It's like the body's version of a green light, saying, go ahead. Circulate, nourish, awaken. But after 60, nitric oxide levels begin to fall. Slowly, quietly. And with it, circulation slows too, especially to the legs, the brain, the groin. This is where parsley steps in. Apigenin helps your body release more nitric oxide. Not through stimulation, not forcefully, but gently, by supporting the very lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium, to function properly again. That's not all. Parsley also contains vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and potassium, nutrients that work together to regulate blood pressure, reduce oxidative stress, and support hormone production. It even aids liver detoxification, helping your body metabolize excess estrogen, a hidden reason why many men feel off balance after 60. Think of parsley as a green ignition switch. One that turns the blood vessels back on. One that tells your body, hey, we're not done yet. And unlike a pill, parsley doesn't override your biology. It reminds it. It supports your body's own ability to restore itself. Let me put it this way, if nitric oxide is the music of blood flow, then parsley is the gentle hand that presses play. And here's the most powerful part, you don't need a lot. Just a handful a day. Chopped into your salad. Blended into your morning drink. Steeped in warm water before bed. In fact, the simpler, the better. Because the body responds not to perfection, but to consistency. I've seen men, just like you, add parsley to their meals for 10 days and return to my office saying things like, my feet don't feel cold anymore. I have more energy in the afternoons. or quietly, "Doc, I feel more like myself again," not because of magic, but because their blood was finally moving. And blood, dear friend, is life. Right pointing arrow. Now you might be wondering, how do you actually use parsley to unlock this effect? Let me show you exactly what Bernard did, step by step, so you can begin the same gentle restoration today. So what did Bernard do? After we talked, I gave him no prescription, no supplements, no long list of things to eliminate. I simply handed him a note with 4 words, parsley. Every single day, he looked at me, amused. That's it, I said. Give it 10 days. Don't worry about perfection, just consistency. And here's what he did, a simple, 3-part habit that anyone can follow. Step 1. Morning wake up drink. Each morning, Bernard blended a small bunch of fresh parsley with warm water, half a lemon, and just a drizzle of honey. It wasn't a fancy smoothie. Just a green, citrusy tonic. He drank it slowly, on an empty stomach, like a signal to his body. Today, we flow. Within just a few days, he noticed a strange sensation, a warmth in his feet that he hadn't felt in years. Not heat from outside, but warmth from within. Step 2. Midday circulation booster. At lunch, Bernard simply chopped fresh parsley and sprinkled it over whatever meal he had. Soup, eggs, chicken, didn't matter. He didn't cook it down. He left it raw, alive. That little burst of green sent a message to his blood vessels, midday, to stay relaxed and supple, especially when most men's energy crashes. He told me, I stopped needing that afternoon nap. His mind felt sharper. His mood lifted. And his legs didn't feel so heavy when he stood up from his chair. Step 3. Evening. Winding down around 8 p.m., Bernard took a few sprigs of parsley and steeped them in hot water. Just like tea. He added nothing but a drop of raw honey. This wasn't just for circulation, it was for calming his nervous system. Parsley, you see, contains compounds that help reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that blocks testosterone and tightens blood vessels. That night tea became a ritual. His sleep deepened. His heart rate dropped. And for the first time in months, he woke up feeling like himself. Not energized in a wild way, but steady. Present. Ready. After 10 days, Bernard returned to my office. He didn't say much at first. He just sat down, crossed his legs, and smiled. I'm warmer, he said. In my legs, in my hands, even down there. Then he leaned in. But it's not just that. I'm not hesitating anymore. Not with my wife, not with myself. That kind of change doesn't come from a pill. It doesn't come from force. It comes from flow. When the blood begins to move again, everything else follows, confidence, clarity, connection, and yes, even intimacy, not manufactured. Not stimulated. Just returned. That's the power of a habit so small, you could overlook it 100 times. But done consistently, it becomes a message your body understands. You're supported now. You can open again. Right pointing arrow. But even something as powerful as this has one condition: it only works if you believe it's not too late. Let's talk about that next. Let me say this as clearly as I can. You are not too late. I don't care if you're 61 or 86. I don't care if it's been months or years since you felt that spark in your body or in your heart. Because your body isn't broken. It's not worn out. It's not past its prime. It's just been waiting. Waiting for a reason to respond. Waiting for the right signal. Waiting for someone, you, to choose restoration over resignation. And sometimes, that signal comes in the form of something unbelievably simple. A tiny green leaf. An old world herb. A message from the natural world that says, you're not done. Let's begin again. You see, parsley isn't a magic bullet. It's not here to fix everything in a day. But it is a quiet, persistent whisper to your blood vessels, reminding them how to soften, how to open, how to flow. And when blood flows, so does energy. Memory. Intimacy. Confidence. I've watched men stand taller, not because their muscles grew, but because their circulation did. I've watched husbands reach for their wives again, not out of pressure, but out of presence. And I've seen men who had given up, walk into my office with a quiet grin and say, "Doc, I'm back, so here's my gentle challenge to you. Before you reach for another bottle, before you accept that this is just how it is now, try giving your body what it still remembers." Nature didn't forget you. Your biology didn't give up. Your blood didn't stop wanting to move. It just needed a reason. So tomorrow morning, when you open your fridge or sit down to eat, look for the parsley. Touch it, smell it, taste it. And remember what it's really saying: you're still alive. You still have time. And your body still knows what to do. If you'll just let it. Because the truth is, you are not fading. You are not weak. You are not finished. You are simply revivable. And sometimes, that revival begins with a single bite of green. So now you know. Not just the name of a forgotten herb, but the message it carries. A message your body has been waiting for. A message that says, we're not shutting down. We're just getting started, and here's what I want you to do next. Nothing complicated. Nothing overwhelming. Just one green habit. One small bunch of parsley. Chopped into your lunch. Blended into your morning water. Steeped in your evening tea. That's it. Because this isn't about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming circulation, confidence, and connection on your terms. And if that feels like something worth trying, you're not alone. Thousands of men are waking up to the quiet wisdom of nature, choosing herbs over hype, flow over force, healing over hiding. So if this message stirred something in you, something hopeful, something familiar, something that says, I want that too, then I invite you to take one more step. Leave a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Or simply write, I'm starting, because when you say it out loud, you begin to believe it. And when you believe it, your body starts listening. And if this message reminded you of someone, a brother, a friend, a father, someone who might be feeling the same quiet decline, please share this video. Because no man deserves to walk this journey alone. And the truth is, you're not alone. You are part of something bigger now. A quiet movement. A return to rhythm. A revival. One leaf at a time. One vessel at a time. One man at a time. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, flow well, stay grounded, and keep listening. Your body knows the way home.